In the year 2090, the world buzzed with anticipation as the Horizon Arc stood towering against the skyline, its metallic surface glinting under the sun. The project had been in the works for over a decade, fueled by humanity's desire to explore the stars and escape the confines of Earth. But beneath the excitement lay deep currents of skepticism and fear among the global population. Some viewed the Ark as humanity's greatest achievement, while others saw it as a reckless gamble with the future. The Horizon Arc was designed to be a self-sustaining vessel capable of supporting a diverse crew for decades. It was meant to carry scientists, engineers, and diplomats on a mission to make contact with potential alien civilizations. The selection process for the crew had been rigorous, and the final roster included individuals from various backgrounds. Each member brought unique skills, but also their own aspirations and insecurities. As the launch date approached, tensions mounted within the crew. On the surface, they appeared united in their purpose, but underlying rivalries simmered just below the surface. The commander, Captain Arya Jong, was a seasoned astronaut known for her calm demeanor and strong leadership, yet even she struggled to maintain harmony among her team. On a particularly tense morning, as the crew prepared for a final systems check, an urgent alarm blared through the ship. The engineers rushed to the control room, where they discovered that vital systems had been sabotaged. Panic spread as the crew scrambled to assess the damage. The ship's launch was only days away, and the implications of this act were dire. As suspicion crept in, the atmosphere shifted. The crew members exchanged wary glances, murmurs of accusations circulated, and trust eroded. The once vibrant camaraderie was replaced by an air of distrust. Captain Jong called an emergency meeting, urging everyone to remain focused on their mission. But the damage was done. The sabotage had sparked fear and paranoia. During the meeting, tensions flared as crew members began to point fingers. Each one had their own theories about who could be behind the sabotage. The young engineer Lucas, who had been struggling to prove himself, was the first to bear the brunt of the accusations. He defended himself passionately, claiming he had nothing to do with the incident, but the doubt in the eyes of his colleagues stung. Realizing that this division could jeopardize the mission, Captain Jong took a bold step. She proposed a team-building exercise designed to encourage communication and collaboration. The crew reluctantly agreed, but many viewed it as a waste of time. With the clock ticking down to launch, they felt a sense of urgency that overshadowed their willingness to engage. In a secluded area of the facility, they participated in a series of challenges designed to test their problem-solving skills and teamwork. As they faced these obstacles together, the tension began to melt away. Laughter emerged as they struggled to complete tasks and shared stories of their lives back on Earth. They found common ground in their hopes and fears, and for a moment the division seemed to fade. But just as they began to reconnect, an alarm blared again. This time, it was a breach alert. A group of unidentified individuals had infiltrated the perimeter of the launch site. The crew sprang into action, their training kicking in as they secured the area. Captain Jong led the charge, her heart racing. She knew that their mission was at stake, but this threat was a reminder that the real challenges lay beyond the stars, not just within their own ranks. As the Horizon Arc loomed above them, Captain Jong rallied her crew in the control room. The atmosphere was thick with urgency and apprehension. The security team quickly assessed the situation, confirming that a group of intruders had breached the perimeter. Their faces were tense, reflecting the stakes of their mission. The ship's launch was imminent, and now they faced an external threat that could compromise everything they had worked for. The intruders appeared to be a faction of protesters who believed humanity should not venture into the stars. Some argued that Earth's resources should be focused on solving its problems rather than exploring other worlds. They had made their way onto the launch site, intent on halting the launch at all costs. As the crew hurried to secure the area, Captain Jong realized they had to act swiftly to ensure both the safety of the vessel and the integrity of their mission. She ordered the crew to split into teams. Some would focus on managing the intruders, while others would prepare the ship for launch. A sense of determination washed over them as they moved with purpose. There was no room for doubt. Now they had to protect their future, as well as the mission that could redefine humanity's place in the universe. Lucas, the young engineer, found himself on the front lines of the confrontation. He was part of the team tasked with negotiating with the protesters. As he approached the group, he felt a mix of fear and resolve. The protesters held signs declaring their opposition, and their voices echoed with anger. But beneath the hostility, Lucas sensed a deep-rooted fear about what the Ark represented. Raising his hands in a gesture of peace, he called out to the crowd, explaining the mission of the Horizon Ark and its potential to unite humanity. Rather than divide it, he spoke passionately about the need for exploration, the desire to make contact with other civilizations, and the hope that lay in forging connections beyond their own planet. Some in the crowd began to waver, their expressions shifting from anger to contemplation. Meanwhile, Captain Zhang worked with the security team to contain the situation. They coordinated a strategy to ensure the protesters could express their views without jeopardizing the launch. But tensions were still high, the clock was ticking, and the countdown had begun. The crew felt the pressure as they raced against time to ensure both the safety of the Ark and the mission's success. As Lucas continued to engage with the protesters, he felt a spark of hope. His words resonated with a few individuals who seemed genuinely interested in listening. They began to ask questions about the technology on board the Ark and the crew's motivations. The dialogue shifted from confrontation to discussion as Lucas shared stories of the crew members' dreams and aspirations. Back at the control room, Captain Zhang received updates from the security team. The protesters were beginning to disperse, some influenced by Lucas's heartfelt message, but others remained stubbornly resistant. She realized that this confrontation was not just about preventing a launch, it was a pivotal moment for humanity. With mere minutes left on the countdown, Captain Zhang made the decision to address the protesters directly. Stepping outside, she called for their attention. Her voice carried over the crowd as she spoke from the heart, expressing her belief in humanity's capacity for greatness and the importance of unity in a time of division. The protesters listened, captivated by her sincerity. As the countdown reached its final seconds, the crew of the Horizon Ark stood united in their resolve. They had faced internal strife and external threats, but together they were ready to embark on a journey that could change the fate of their species. Captain Zhang took a deep breath and initiated the launch sequence. The engines roared to life, and the Horizon Ark ascended into the heavens, leaving behind the doubts and fears of Earth as they ventured into the unknown. As the Horizon Ark soared through the atmosphere, a wave of exhilaration swept through the crew. They had overcome sabotage and protests. Now they were truly on their way to the stars. Captain Zhang stood at the helm, her eyes fixed on the viewscreen displaying the vastness of space. Before them, the sight was breathtaking, a tapestry of shimmering stars and distant galaxies beckoning them into the unknown. In the days following the launch, the crew settled into a new rhythm aboard the Ark. Their routines included conducting experiments, maintaining the ship, and engaging in discussions about their mission. The initial tension had begun to dissipate, replaced by a growing sense of camaraderie. As they shared meals and stories from their past, they forged connections that strengthened their unity. However, beneath the surface, the reality of deep space travel began to set in. The isolation of being light years away from Earth weighed heavily on some crew members. The psychological strain became evident as small disagreements arose during routine tasks, and the pressure of their mission loomed large. Captain Zhang held regular briefings to address concerns and encourage open communication among the crew. One evening during a team dinner, the mood shifted as they shared stories about their families and dreams for the future. An engineer named Mara revealed her fear of failure, saying she felt the weight of expectations from both her family and society. The crew listened intently and offered words of support, sharing their own insecurities and fears. The vulnerability in the room fostered a deeper bond as they realized they were not alone in their struggles. As the days turned into weeks, the crew faced unexpected challenges, from cosmic storms that rattled the ship to technical glitches that threatened their systems. They rallied together to solve problems, collaborating in ways that showcased their diverse skills and perspectives. Each challenge became a test of their resilience and resourcefulness. One particularly intense night, the ship was rocked by a sudden solar storm. The alarms blared, and the crew scrambled to stabilize the ship. Captain Zhang parked orders, her voice cutting through the chaos, as they worked together to secure equipment and protect the ship. A sense of urgency ignited their spirits. Lucas and Mara teamed up to recalibrate the navigation systems, while others secured loose cargo and monitored the ship's integrity. With teamwork and determination, they weathered the storm. When it finally subsided, the crew gathered in the control room, breathing heavily, but filled with a sense of accomplishment. They exchanged relieved smiles, knowing they had faced a crisis together. The experience reinforced their resolve to succeed on their mission, and they felt closer than ever. As they resumed their journey, the crew spotted an anomaly in the distance, a swirling mass of color pulsed against the backdrop of space, a breathtaking sight, yet also a reminder of the unknown dangers that lay ahead. Curiosity ignited within the crew, and they began discussing the anomaly's potential significance. Some speculated it could be a celestial phenomenon, while others believed it might be an indication of an undiscovered planetary system. Driven by their thirst for discovery, Captain Zhang made the decision to investigate. They altered their course toward the anomaly, excited yet cautious. As they approached the swirling colors, the ship's sensors picked up strange readings indicating the presence of an unknown energy source. The crew buzzed with anticipation, but also a sense of foreboding. They prepared for what might be a critical moment in their journey. With instruments calibrated and data collection protocols in place, they steeled themselves for the unknown. As they entered the outer reaches of the anomaly, the ship trembled slightly, signaling that they were crossing into uncharted territory. The crew held their breath, ready to confront whatever mysteries lay ahead. In that moment of uncertainty, they felt a renewed sense of purpose, united by their collective dream to connect with the universe. Beyond the challenges and fears they had faced, they were reminded of why they embarked on this mission in the first place: to explore, to learn, to connect, and to honor the spirit of humanity as they ventured into the cosmos. As the Horizon Ark inched closer to the swirling anomaly, the crew's excitement mixed with an undercurrent of tension. Captain Zhang stood at the command console, her fingers poised over the controls. She could sense the energy in the room, a blend of anticipation and trepidation. As they prepared to investigate the unknown, the anomaly pulsed with vibrant colors, shimmering like a cosmic dance, inviting them to delve deeper. The ship's sensors beeped with activity as they gathered data. The readings were unlike anything they had encountered before. Strange energy patterns flickered across the displays, confounding even the most seasoned scientists aboard. The crew exchanged glances, their curiosity piqued, but unease lingering in the back of their minds. Lucas and Mara worked feverishly in the science lab, monitoring the readings and attempting to decipher the anomaly's nature. As they analyzed the data, they uncovered unusual fluctuations that suggested the presence of a stable energy source that could potentially be harnessed. The implications were staggering. If they could understand and utilize this energy, it could revolutionize space travel and power future missions. However, as they delved deeper into their research, they also uncovered warnings embedded within the readings. They discovered that the anomaly had a history of erratic behavior, characterized by sudden surges of energy that could pose a significant risk. Captain Zhang called an emergency meeting to discuss their findings and the potential dangers. In the conference room, tension hung thick. As the crew gathered around the table, Captain Zhang laid out the data before them, emphasizing the importance of caution. She urged them to weigh the potential benefits against the risks involved. The atmosphere crackled with disagreement as crew members voiced their opinions. Some believed they should proceed with caution, while others argued for a bold approach, eager to unlock the anomaly's secrets. The debate intensified as they considered the possible consequences of their actions. Mara spoke up passionately, sharing her analysis of the energy source and its potential to revolutionize space exploration. Lucas backed her up, detailing how it could enhance their systems and open doors to distant worlds. Yet Captain Zhang reminded them of the lessons learned from their recent experiences about the dangers of rushing headlong into the unknown. Just as the discussion reached its peak, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared, signaling a sudden surge in the anomaly's energy. Captain Zhang sprang into action, directing the crew to secure the ship and monitor their surroundings. The control room erupted in chaos as everyone focused on stabilizing the vessel. Amid the commotion, Lucas noticed a pattern in the energy fluctuations. He quickly relayed his observations to the team, identifying a rhythm in the anomaly's behavior that could help them anticipate future surges. As they worked together to adapt the ship's systems to counteract the instability, they began to find their stride. With renewed focus, the crew collaborated to implement Lucas's strategy. They recalibrated the ship's shields and established protective protocols designed to mitigate the effects of any sudden energy bursts. Captain Zhang felt a surge of pride as she watched her crew come together, drawing on each other's strengths and expertise. As the anomaly's energy stabilized, they breathed a collective sigh of relief. But their sense of accomplishment was short-lived. The anomaly began to shift shape, its colors intensifying and swirling in a mesmerizing display. Suddenly, a brilliant flash erupted from its core, blinding the crew momentarily. When the light faded, they found themselves staring at a breathtaking sight. An immense portal opened before them, pulsating with energy and possibility. The crew stood frozen in awe as the realization sank in. They were on the precipice of something extraordinary. A gateway to the unknown. Captain Zhang's heart raced as she weighed their options. This could be the moment they had been waiting for, the opportunity for first contact with an alien civilization, or perhaps a gateway to a new world filled with potential, but the danger was palpable. Determined yet cautious, she called for a vote among the crew. They needed to decide whether to cross through the portal or retreat and gather more information. The room filled with tension as everyone weighed the possibilities. They all knew that whatever choice they made would define their mission and perhaps humanity's future. The tension in the conference room was palpable as Captain Zhang surveyed her crew. Each face reflected a mix of excitement and fear. The portal before them glimmered with an otherworldly allure, promising the unknown, but also the potential for peril. She took a deep breath and addressed her team, urging them to consider the weight of their decision. "Remember our mission," she began, her voice steady. "We set out to explore, to learn, and to make contact with other civilizations. This portal could be our chance to fulfill that mission, but we must proceed with caution." Lucas raised his hand, his eyes wide with enthusiasm. "Captain, this is unprecedented. If we don't take this opportunity, we may never get another chance to explore what lies beyond." His passion resonated with several crew members who nodded in agreement. Mara chimed in. "But what if it's dangerous? We have no idea what's on the other side. We could be walking into a trap or an environment that could harm us." Her voice was steady, but the concern was clear. Her thoughts echoed the fears many felt. The debate continued as crew members voiced their opinions. Some argued for the potential benefits of crossing into the portal, while others warned against the risks. Captain Zhang listened intently, noting the differing perspectives, but feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down on her. After several heated exchanges, she called for a moment of silence, urging everyone to reflect on the possibilities and risks. She knew that whatever choice they made would shape not just their mission, but also humanity's future as they ventured into the cosmos. Finally, she spoke again. "Let's conduct a thorough analysis of the portal's energy readings. We need to gather as much data as possible before making a final decision." The crew nodded in agreement, appreciating the need for caution and preparation. They returned to the control room, where Lucas and Mara took the lead in analyzing the portal's energy signatures. With their combined expertise, they worked to develop a comprehensive profile of the anomaly, detailing its characteristics and potential implications. They had to determine if crossing through would be a calculated risk or a reckless gamble. Hours passed as they pored over data charts and readings, but the allure of the portal lingered in the air, drawing their attention away from their work. The colors swirled and shifted mesmerizingly, as if calling them to take action. As they continued their analysis, they detected a pattern that suggested the portal was stable and had a rhythm to its energy fluctuations. They shared their findings with the crew, and excitement began to build again. The possibility of safe passage sparked a renewed sense of hope among the team. Captain Zhang called for another meeting to discuss their findings and set a timeline for their next steps. "If we're going to cross, we need to prepare for every contingency," she said, her voice resolute. I want each team to develop a plan for what to do on the other side in case of various scenarios." The crew sprang into action, dividing into teams to brainstorm potential outcomes and formulate strategies. They discussed everything from establishing communication protocols to emergency procedures in case they encountered hostile life forms. As they worked through the scenarios, their excitement mixed with anxiety and determination. Each member contributed ideas based on their unique skills and backgrounds, reinforcing the sense of unity that had developed over the course of their journey. Finally, after hours of preparation, the crew reconvened. Captain Zhang could see the fire in their eyes and the determination etched on their faces. "We've prepared as best we can," she declared. "It's time to make our decision." They gathered around the viewscreen, gazing at the shimmering portal. Captain Zhang felt a rush of adrenaline. She knew the moment had come. The fate of the Horizon Ark and its crew hung in the balance. Would they take the leap into the unknown and seize the opportunity that lay before them, or would they choose caution and retreat? In that moment, she sensed the weight of history resting on their shoulders. With a firm resolve, she made her choice. "Let's do it," she said, breaking the silence. "Engage the portal and prepare for entry." The crew erupted in cheers, excitement and fear intertwining as they braced themselves for what lay ahead. As the crew prepared to enter the portal, the atmosphere on the Horizon Ark shifted from anticipation to electrifying urgency. Captain Zhang took her place at the helm. Fingers poised over the controls, the shimmering portal loomed larger on the viewscreen, pulsating with vibrant colors that beckoned them closer. She glanced around the control room and saw her crew members ready to face whatever awaited them beyond the threshold. "Steady as she goes," Captain Zhang commanded, her voice cutting through the excitement. "Let's make sure all systems are primed for entry. Prepare to engage thrusters on my mark." The crew moved with practiced efficiency, ensuring every protocol was followed as the countdown began. 3, 2, 1, engage. At her command, the ship surged forward, the engines roaring as they crossed into the portal. The moment felt surreal as they were enveloped in a kaleidoscope of colors and light. The ship trembled gently, and the crew held their breath, their hearts racing with the thrill of the unknown. When they emerged on the other side, the viewscreen displayed a breathtaking sight. An alien landscape sprawled before them, filled with towering crystalline structures that glinted in shades of blue and purple. Massive floating islands drifted in the sky, connected by shimmering bridges made of energy. The air was charged with an almost palpable vibrancy. "Status report," Captain Zhang commanded. Breaking the spell of awe that gripped her crew, Lucas and Mara rushed to their stations, their fingers flying over the controls as they assessed the ship's systems and the surrounding environment. "Ship integrity is stable," Lucas reported, "all systems functioning within normal parameters." His eyes sparkled with excitement as he studied the readings. "But the energy signatures here are unlike anything we've seen. It's like the entire area is alive with energy." "Can we establish communication?" Mara asked, glancing toward Captain Zhang. "We need to determine if there are any life forms here, and if so, how to approach them." "Let's run a scan for intelligence signals," Captain Zhang replied. She felt a mix of excitement and anxiety as she contemplated the possibilities. They had crossed into uncharted territory, and the potential for first contact hung in the air like a tantalizing promise. As the crew worked, the viewscreen displayed the vibrant landscape. The crystalline structures pulsed rhythmically, as if responding to the ship's presence. Captain Zhang felt a connection forming between their vessel and this strange new world. It was as if the very environment recognized them and was welcoming them to explore. Suddenly, the sensors pinged, indicating a fluctuation in the energy readings. Captain Zhang leaned closer to the console. Her heart raced as she processed the data. "I'm picking up faint signals originating from that large structure to the north." She pointed at the towering crystalline edifice that seemed to dominate the landscape. "Prepare a shuttle for reconnaissance." The crew jumped into action, excitement coursing through them as they prepped for their first foray onto this alien world. Captain Zhang selected a team comprising Lucas, Mara, and a communications specialist named Ilara. Together, they would explore the structure and attempt to establish contact. As they boarded the shuttle, Captain Zhang felt a mixture of pride and responsibility for her crew. They were venturing into the unknown, but they were united in purpose and ready to face whatever awaited them. With a final look back at the Horizon Arc, she felt a surge of determination as they powered up the shuttle's engines and lifted off. The descent was smooth as they navigated through the vibrant atmosphere approaching the crystalline structure. The shuttle landed softly on a platform surrounded by luminescent flora that glowed gently in the twilight. The crew exited the shuttle, taking their first steps onto alien soil. They moved cautiously toward the towering edifice's surface, shimmering with intricate patterns that seemed to shift as they approached. The air buzzed with energy, making the hairs on the back of their necks stand on end. Ilara activated her communication device, hoping to establish a connection. "This is the crew of the Horizon Arc. We come in peace and seek to communicate." Their words echoed into the vastness surrounding them, and they waited, breath held in anticipation for a response. But the silence that followed was both exhilarating and unnerving as they stood on the threshold of potential contact with a new civilization. As the crew stood before the towering crystalline structure, the silence enveloped them. Heavy with anticipation and uncertainty, Ilara's voice faded into the stillness, leaving them with only the distant hum of energy resonating from the edifice. Captain Zhang felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. This was the moment they had prepared for, but now that they were here, the weight of what it meant pressed down on her. After several moments of tense waiting, the air shimmered around them, and a low vibration emanated from the structure. The surface glowed brighter, pulsing rhythmically as if responding to their presence. Captain Zhang's heart raced. Could this be a form of communication? Mara stepped forward, entranced by the shifting patterns on the crystalline facade. "It's almost as if it's alive," she murmured. Her fingers brushed against the surface, and in that instant, a surge of energy coursed through her, causing her to gasp. The crew watched in awe as the patterns began to rearrange themselves, forming complex symbols and shapes that seemed to tell a story. "Look," Lucas pointed at the changing display. "It's like a language." Ilara quickly began recording the visual patterns, her mind racing with possibilities. "If we can decipher this, we might be able to establish a meaningful connection." She activated her device, capturing the data for analysis. "We need to document everything." As they continued to observe the shifting patterns, a new sensation enveloped them. A sense of calm and curiosity mingled with their own emotions. The atmosphere felt charged, almost as if the structure was not just a physical object, but a sentient being trying to communicate. Then, without warning, a bright light flared from the structure, enveloping them in a warm glow. The crew instinctively stepped back, shielding their eyes as the brilliance intensified. When the light dimmed, they found themselves surrounded by ethereal figures made entirely of shimmering energy. The beings floated gracefully, their forms changing shape as they moved closer to the crew. Each one radiated warmth and intelligence, and an unspoken connection sparked in the air. Ilara's device began to register a series of complex frequencies, and she quickly adjusted the settings to capture the new signals. Captain Zhang stepped forward, her heart pounding. "We come in peace," she said firmly, hoping to convey their intentions. "We are explorers from Earth seeking knowledge and connection." The energy beings paused, their movements becoming synchronized as they seemed to process her words. One of the figures drifted forward, a brilliant cascade of colors flowing around it. The crew watched in awe as the being extended a luminous tendril toward Captain Zhang. In that moment, she felt a profound sense of understanding wash over her, as if their thoughts were merging. Suddenly, images flooded her mind, visions of distant stars, thriving civilizations, and the beauty of interconnectedness throughout the universe. It was a tapestry of life and knowledge woven together by bonds of mutual respect and collaboration. "Are you trying to share your knowledge?" Captain Zhang breathed, realizing the implications of this connection. The being pulsed with vibrant light, affirming her understanding. A wave of joy washed over her, and she felt the emotions of her crew reflect in their expressions. Mara, overwhelmed by the experience, spoke softly. "This is incredible. We're not just exploring, we're being welcomed." The energy beings shifted, their forms swirling together to create a magnificent display of colors that danced in the air around them. The crew stood mesmerized as the beings began to project images into the space around them. Blueprints of advanced technology, glimpses of their society, and glimpses of their values. As the visions unfolded, the crew absorbed the knowledge with wide eyes and open hearts. This was not merely a first contact. It was an invitation to collaborate, to learn from one another, and to grow together as civilizations. Yet in the depths of her mind, Captain Zhang felt a cautionary whisper. They had entered a new realm of existence. But what challenges lay ahead? Would they be ready to embrace this knowledge and responsibility? The energy beings seemed to sense her contemplation, their forms swirling in a mesmerizing dance. "We seek allies," one of them communicated through feelings and images. "Together we can thrive in the vastness of the universe." Captain Zhang felt a surge of determination wash over her. She knew this was their moment to choose to embrace this new alliance and forge a path toward a shared future in the stars. As the energy beings communicated their desire for alliance, Captain Zhang felt a profound sense of purpose wash over her. This was the culmination of their mission. A chance not just to explore, but to build bridges across the cosmos. She turned to her crew, their faces illuminated by the radiant glow of the beings, reflecting a mix of awe and hope. "We have the opportunity to form a partnership," she said, her voice steady and clear. "This is what we came for, to connect with others and learn from their wisdom, but we must approach this with care and mutual respect." Mara nodded enthusiastically. "We can share our knowledge too, our technology, our culture. We can learn from each other and grow together." Ilara quickly began jotting down notes and observations, eager to capture every detail of this historic moment. "This is monumental. If we can formalize this alliance, we could change the course of history for humanity." The energy beings pulsed gently in response, their forms shifting as if echoing the crew's sentiments. They projected images of shared gatherings and collaborations across galaxies, illustrating a rich history of alliances forged in trust and understanding. Yet a part of Captain Zhang remained vigilant. She sensed that with great potential also came great responsibility. They were entering a realm that could reshape their understanding of existence, but they needed to ensure that they upheld their values as explorers. "Let's establish a framework for this partnership," she proposed. "We need to agree on mutual goals and ensure our interactions are beneficial to both our civilizations." The energy beings seemed to resonate with her words, their colors shifting in vibrant approval. As they engaged in this cosmic dialogue, the crew worked diligently to translate the beings' visions into actionable plans. They discussed how they could share knowledge about Earth and its diverse cultures, while also learning about the beings' technology and societal structures. In this collaborative atmosphere, the crew felt a surge of unity and excitement. Each member contributed ideas about cultural exchanges, joint scientific endeavors, and the potential for future exploration together. With each passing moment, the alliance took shape, transforming from an abstract idea into a tangible partnership. But amid the joy of discovery, Captain Zhang couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the brink of something greater. What challenges might arise from this union? What responsibilities would they bear as ambassadors of humanity? The energy beings seemed to sense her concerns, their forms glowing softly in reassurance. They projected images of past alliances that had faced challenges and adversity, but also of resilience and growth. The crew watched as they witnessed the ebb and flow of interstellar partnerships, each teaching valuable lessons about cooperation and understanding. With their collective insights, they began drafting a charter for their alliance, a document outlining their shared values, mutual responsibilities, and goals for future collaboration. They agreed to establish regular exchanges and to create a council that would oversee their interactions. As the charter took shape, the atmosphere shimmered with optimism. Captain Zhang felt a sense of pride in her crew and the work they were doing together. They were paving the way for a new chapter in humanity's story. Finally, After hours of discussion and collaboration, the beings confirmed their approval, their forms swirling together in a dazzling display of colors. The crew stood in awe, feeling the energy of possibility enveloping them. "We will become partners in exploration and understanding," Captain John declared, her heart swelling with pride. "Together, we will face the challenges of the cosmos and learn from one another." As they solidified the alliance, the crew felt an exhilarating sense of belonging. They were not just a group of explorers. They were part of something far larger, a tapestry of life that extended across the stars. With the charter signed and a newfound alliance forged, Captain Zhang and her crew returned to the Horizon Ark. They felt an unshakable bond with their new allies and a renewed sense of purpose as they prepared for the next chapter of their journey. As the Ark ascended into the skies above the alien landscape, Captain Zhang gazed out at the stars. The universe was vast and filled with endless possibilities, and for the first time, humanity was not alone. They had allies and a shared vision of exploration, growth, and understanding, a future that shimmered brightly before them in the infinite expanse of space.